Hello, cannedcream here, CC for short, and the end is near! For My Little Pony. Wait, drop the pitchforks and the torches, let me explain. There are those that claim the show will be over soon, as it's reached its height and is now on its downcline. Whether or not you actually believe that is up to you, but personally I have to disagree. If anything, the start of Season 4 has proved that the show is really hitting its stride, and there's no denying that because of the massive fan base and even more massive collection of tie-in products for purchase, that the show is both a ratings and a financial success. It is unlikely that the hub will be letting go of the series, and fans can expect more seasons for quite some time. But, with that said, the ugly truth must be faced. All good things come to an end, and MLP will be no different. Eventually, the final curtain will fall and the last goodbyes will be said. It's not a question of when it will happen, but how. Will the show taper off and vanish between seasons, as so many others have? Or will it be one of those lucky few that gives us a proper farewell?
Sorry, we're closed.
Presented will be my own thoughts on how the series should end. And, as a fair warning, we'll be going deep into headcanon territory here. So with that in mind, let's begin. I believe that for the end of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, the most fitting topic would be exactly that, endings. Think about your own youth, the people you used to know and the friends you used to have. How many of them do you still really talk to? Chances are they've faded from your life, replaced by newer friends and family as their lives took them in one direction and yours in another. I think it would be a bold and frankly very intelligent move on the writer's part to present this within the final episode. Provide a valuable lesson to the younger audience, as well as a nostalgic trip into the use of the older bronies. And this doesn't need to be a depressing topic. We don't need to talk about death or regrets. Quite the opposite. The episode can actually be about fulfilled dreams and new opportunities. It can be a light-hearted thing. Take a look at where the main six is right now in the show. In one way or another, they're still each in the process of fulfilling their own lifelong dreams. Even characters like Pinkie Pie or Fluttershy, who don't exactly have a set life goal, or Twilight, who is very close to reaching the peak of her own, still have a ways to go before they move on from adolescence of planning for the future and into the adulthood of actually living it. And when, at last, they do reach that stage, their paths are going to split them apart, or at least keep them from spending the time together that they do now. The best place for the final episode to take us would be into the near future. Ponyville has grown, fillies and colts have become mares and stallions, the old have passed on, the new have been born, and time has continued its steady and relentless march forward as we look into the lives of the main six as they are now. Applejack is, and always will be, a farm girl at heart. She has remained in Ponyville and has taken over as head rancher for Sweet Apple Acres with her brother Mac and her now grown and fully cutie-marked younger sister Applebloom. Under her careful eye and hard work, the farm has thrived. They have become such a sprawling success that they need to hire on a series of farm hands to keep up with the orders. Yet despite the endless hard work and focus, Applejack has still managed to find her special sun pony. She's married and has mothered a child of her own. Rarity and her boutique have relocated to Canterlot, where her creations have become the must-have outfits for the kingdom's elite. Every pony who is any pony wears her designs, and pays handsomely for the privilege. Rarity stands with her hoof right on the pulse of Canterlot's fashion world, always one step ahead of the curve, creating and reinventing every hot trend without fail year after year. No party is complete without her invited. No charity event is a success without her presence. Rarity lives within the cultural center of Canterlot. News of Fluttershy's uncanny way with animals has reached the far ends of Equestria and back again. It wasn't long before requests of Fluttershy's assistance intending to a sick or injured family pet or work animal began to arrive in her mailbox. First in a trickle that turned into a flood as her success grew. Eventually going back to school and getting a degree in veterinary medicine, Fluttershy, Dr. Fluttershy is often traveling across Equestria, seeing and caring for animals and critters of all kinds, nursing them back to health with her sweet voice, gentle approach, and unique talents. Being a Wonderbolt keeps Rainbow Dash very busy. As one of the youngest ponies to rise to captain in the group's history,
that's an Academy record!
Whenever she isn't performing for groups of thousands, she's overseeing the training of the Academy, doing everything in her power to turn raw recruits into prime Wonderbolt material. While still brash and arrogant, time has matured Rainbow, giving her a new level of patience and forward thinking that has allowed her to use her natural talents to the best of her abilities. Pinkie Pie's love for other ponies, her impressive ability to remember all of their names and birthdays and interests, as well as her natural drive to make every pony around her feel happy and welcome, have manifested themselves in a very interesting way. As Ponyville's new acting mayor, politics has turned a little wackier than it used to be. but there have been no doubts that she's done a fine job. With an impressive intellect hidden behind her bubbly personality, Pinkie does what she can to keep her citizens happy and well cared for. Every pony eagerly awaits the next festival day, knowing that Mayor Pinkie Pie will throw the best party they've ever seen each and every time. Life for Twilight Sparkle is challenging, hectic, and demanding, just the way she likes it. Serving as Equestria's top researcher in magical studies, as well as residing as princess over a kingdom of her own, Twilight and her assistant Spike wake up each day with a new set of challenges to face and mysteries to unravel. She has even taken on a student of her own, a young unicorn filly with a deep interest in magic, but a difficulty learning it. Empathizing with the child, Twilight takes her under her wing and personally teaches her everything she knows, as well as sharing a collection of stories from her own childhood about how she learned to master magic. In the final scene, we watch this young filly race out of Princess Twilight's castle and into the town below, where she meets up with a group of her own friends. In a voiceover, we hear Twilight record another entry in her diary, talking about how she does miss not seeing her own friends as often as she used to, but how she will always cherish the time they spent, and how she will hold on to the memories for the rest of her life, honoring them by living out the lessons that they had learned and passing them on to her own students and subjects. Outside, we watch the filly and her friends run off to have their own adventure, as the camera pans upward, taking us back into the castle and focusing on the pages Twilight writes upon as she finishes the final sentence. With only the book in frame, Twilight uses her magic to close the cover, calling us back to the very first scene of the very first episode, right before we fade to black for the very last time. As the author Frank Herbert once wrote, "There is no real ending. It's just the place where you stop the story." This, I feel, is how MLP should express its own ending. Not by saying goodbye to its audience, but by leaving us with the knowledge that, even though Twilight's story is over, there's still 1,000 different adventures still playing out across Equestria. That, just like our own lives, the story extends far beyond us and will continue on after we're gone. This, in my opinion, would be the perfect goodbye from what has been a rather masterful and emotional cartoon. But what about you, dear listener? How do you think it should end? Post your own thoughts below and share your own perfect MLP finale. And if you like this video, I humbly ask that you subscribe to this channel for more. Thank you very much for watching, and as always,
stay pony, my friends.